Herkese selamlar arkadaşlar. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2'nin yeni bir bölümüne hoş geldiniz. 21. bölümüyle oyuna kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. Önceki bölümde Rosa'yla konuştuk ve güzel bir plan yaptık. Bu önceki bölümün sonunda da Vavak'a bir tehdit ettik. Ve şimdi o tehdit ettiğimiz şeyi ele geçireceğiz. Şurada bir terzi var. Ona gelmemizi istedi. Burayı az önce yanlışlıkla ben oynadım. Bu bize şey verecek. Terzi şey verecek. O yüzden geçtim hızlıca. Garsonluk yapıyor diye. Fark etmez, herhangi bir şey diyebilirim. Bu da diyor ki ben gidelim sen bana para ver falan bir şeyler diyor.
Of course.
Who
do you take? All right. Now show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you and think up some good.
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. Here it is. I look like a. The main thing is, don't lose.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you. I promise.
You better not.
Quality merchandise.
Şimdi şöyle bir şey yapacağım hızlıca. Şuraya gideceğiz, tamam mı? Orada bir işimiz var. Şu üstümüzdekilerden bir kurtulmamız lazım önce. Önce üstümüzdekilerden bir kurtulmamız gerekiyor.
Come here.
Köpeği de oturtmuştum, o da geldi.
Easy.
Ben mahmuzluyum, bu arkadaş yavaş oldu, sakin oldu. Hiç. Az önce şuradaki odaya fazla eşya bırakınca aşağı ışınladı benim oyun. O yüzden bu sefer sandığa koyacağım bütün eşyalarımın üstündekiler hariç. Sonra yeni bir kıyafet yapıp gideceğiz. Hızlıca. Çok hızlı bir şekilde. Acelem var. İçeri gireceksin. İçeri dalga mı geçiyorsun ya? Şimdi benim üstümdekileri bul ve tüm eşyaları aktar. Ama hayır, kuşandıklarımı taşıma. Tamam. Şimdi hiçbir şeyim kalmadı değil mi? Tamam. Az önce aldıklarımı bulacağım. Garson kıyafeti yeni diktirdiğim dedi. Hangisiydi lan? Ben hazırlayıp geliyorum ama. Ben buldum. Üstüme gitmemişler. Bunu giyiyorum. Allah. Dur bir dakika. Bunu mu şey yapıyorduk? Yapacaktım, dur. Bunu yapacaktım ya. Ya buna da bunu giyelim, ne olacak ki? Ben hangisi hangisini onu çekiyorum dünyada. Yanlış bir üstüne basıldı. Bu daha güçlü Artemis nedir ya? Normalde buna takıyordu. Ben şimdi buna, tamam, buna ne takılıyordu? Kete şapka, hizmetkar başlığı. Herhalde olmuştur ya. Hadi. Bunu giydik. Giy. Bu da sertifikam. Tamam. Şimdi oraya güzel bir ayakkabı alalım yüzümüze. Oyunun videosu gibi bir şey alalım. Mesela çizmesi de olur. Saray mensubu çizmedir abi en iyisi. Ama aynen. Hadi gidelim. Oraya gidince yapalım. Gidelim. Evet. Hayvanlar da geldi. Köpekler... Aa oğlum niye dönüyorsun etrafımda? Nasılsın gel.
What? Young man, could you spare me a moment of your time?
Yes? What is this about?
Your immortal soul. I'd like to discuss it with you.
Konuşmak istiyorum.
Tarry a while, young man. Are you truly...
I really don't have time.
Everyone should make time for know that the immortal soul inherently makes no distinction between happiness and unhappiness. Tell me, what?
Don't you understand?
Oh, one day they'll understand. Oh well.
Heel! Come here! Here, mutt! Sit and stay.
Careful.
Hadi gidelim. Monster yayını ama ondan önce yapmamız lazım. Hadi bakalım.
Not your day, eh?
So you don't end up here too.
Franta Cooldown sent me.
Franta's not coming.
Lütfen. Bence hasta.
He got poisoned. Probably is writhing in agony. By turns praying and...
Oh, that's enough. We can't be without a waiter here. When the... So, let's... Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Isladım yıkasaydım ya.
Everything's in order. You've got a waiter's cap. A tunic you have. Hose are good. You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You won't be needing it anyway. You don't want to be dragging a load if you're running around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice.
I should certainly... Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing, in short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White?
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarjitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam...
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most...
To stay in the background and keep quiet until someone asks me something?
Correct. The councillors have a lot to discuss, and in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, but...
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone understood.
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the... But you'll manage it, right?
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servant.
Hadi bekleyelim. Hadi.
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current Waffenarsenal is
There
a
are the
joke.
pictures of
And on
wine.
top of that, the army was
Hopefully I won't
requisitioning
splash
from
anyone's
it.
shoes.
Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at,
You there,
Aldris?
lad.
I'm
a cup
saying
of
that
red.
the bandits
And
who
don't you
freed
skip on me.
Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
I apologise, sir.
Can you believe it?
Which wine?
Red.
Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have
sir.
better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König
Thank you, waiter.
surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stupid
Ne yapıyorsun lan?
do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
Hey,
And
waiter,
who is it you want to
pour me
fight?
some monastery
Exactly.
wine.
The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
That's not a good idea,
Herr
sir.
König
This is
and his
unbelievable.
army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest
Hey, wait
silver
up.
heap
Pour
in
me
the
some
kingdom,
monastery wine.
and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
I apologise,
Right,
sir.
Eldris. But
Which
where can
wine?
we get
Monastery
the coin for
red.
better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory.
Good,
The
sir.
king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived
Hangisi
some of the
belli değil
taxes...
ki.
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter.
Yol
Maybe
gelse
we can
de.
change his mind. Vielleicht.
I'd like to report to the honorable council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Hey,
Isn't it the
waiter,
same thing?
pour me some monastery wine.
So
I'd
the
like to
cleanliness
oblige,
of the
but
city is
not
not
This is
what it should be.
unbelievable.
The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right, Jerome.
More
but a
wine,
woman named
Master
Betty
Bailiff?
showed up in
I have
Hopbrink.
enough
I
wine.
want to repair
Come
the baths that
closer.
used to be there.
She's
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
Where can I find this goblet?
Use your eyes and come right back with it, understood?
And they can get leeches there for free as well. And while he's there, a man can shave and take a you-know-what.
So what? Going to the baths is neither a civic duty nor a
O mu acaba?
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great
nice.
many people died
Whose
needlessly.
silver might this be?
Are you questioning God's plan? The black...
So, did you...
I did, Master Bailiff.
Yüzümü yıkasaydım ya.
Not
Çok
so
kalmış.
loud. Show it here. And now go back to your job.
Arguing about who is going to wash where and how is a waste of time.
Hadi abi, sıkıldım ama ya.
I got word that
Keyfinizin
Rutard has
bekleyeceğim.
pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way.
Hey, waiter!
At least until
Pour
His
me some
Majesty
monastery
honors us
wine.
with his visit.
I
And
apologise,
as we
sir.
know, Gunslin
wine?
absolutely hates
Am
him.
I speaking in
He
Latin?
can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're...
Good sir. I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were
Well,
there, weren't you?
thank the Lord.
That. Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be
Hawkeye,
deceiving
and a
me.
full cup.
Are you defending Rutard?
I apologise, sir.
Besides, if
Which
his
one?
men attacked
White.
yours,
Hawkeye.
as I've heard, then we have a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Rutard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Sir? Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard
Thank you,
there were
waiter.
several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Rutard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
apologise, sir. That's true. Which wine? Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows
sir.
what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point
Well,
in
thank
dwelling
the
on
Lord.
it. Let's move on.
Ne diyeyim ben şu an? Ha, belediye binası.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric,
Boy,
Bilmiyorum ama
I'd
bunu.
like some white.
if we tolerate this, the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the
Sir?
city's sword fighting school brought this custom to us. That
Don't
German
hang around me.
Menard
Vanish,
was
you
just
hear
hanging
me?
around the market looking for trouble.
Don't be ridiculous, Forsucker.
Are you afraid
You act like you've never been in a fight yourself. I've no idea what you're talking about. Keep to our agreement. Go!
I'm just passing
We're not some old fishwives in the marketplace.
So you will just leave it be?
Proven offences are punished by the bailiff. And
Refill,
that's
sir.
that.
Do you think I come to the
There are
council
more
just
pressing
because of
matters to
wine?
deal with.
Come here.
More pressing than the open contempt of the whole...
Değil misin ya? Uzaktan anlaşılmıyor ki.
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot. I can't just get up and walk out now. All right. I knew I could count while you're at it. Count how many figures on the... Because I'm bored. And because...
Council is squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles, and no one is
Aldım buradan şeyi de kanatlarını saymamıştım. Nerede kanat?
Throw dirt on our work?
If I threw out everyone who complains over a beer, I'd soon be out
Ne
of
bileyim
customers.
ama.
Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like...
So, let's see... I found your gloves, sir. Really? And did you count those winged figures? I didn't have time, sir. Your work is to fulfill the orders of the city.
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedral.
Yeterik
The
ya.
building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling
Senin keyfini mi şey yapacak? Kanatta figür.
under our noses.
I'll have
Just
a
the
cup of
village with the
white.
monastery, and they are going to mock a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Haven't you noticed there's a war going on?
I
Are
apologize,
the
sir.
experts from far
Which
off
one?
supposed to
Are you
open the
colorblind?
city
White!
Besides,
Good,
I
sir.
get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your
Hadi
complaints.
Oh,
ya.
you do you? And what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Ulan ne konuşuyor hala ya? Kaç saat oldu?
nave is mine.
Then hell freezes over, my friend. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse me? You wanted to buy yourself an altar in the cathedral, just like you
Buranın
bought
kralı
yourself a
benim
seat
lan.
in this
Kapayın
council.
How
çenenizi.
dare you?
Waiter,
I
Pour me
acquired
red
my
wine.
seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Hopbrink.
What
good.
ne'er-do-wells?
Now run along.
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been
Bir
sorted out.
kere daha yapacak mıyız
Not
bunu?
long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
Hey, waiter, pour me some Tokai.
I apologize, sir. Which wine?
White Tokai.
Good, sir.
Thank you, waiter.
Oh be sonunda. Geliyor mu bu? 8 mont dönen.
I'm telling you, something is being planned. Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Ortalemler geldi.
Azonal Türkçe görsün. Elek yok tetonaykat. İş kelkinek udra.
Ay tipini bu nasıl 100 mont? Seni ben bilirsin. Ama o şerefsiz de geldi ha. Bunun şurada kafasını kesmek vardı da. Tanımadı. Nereden tanıyacak?
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Unlike this plan of false!
Ben olarak mı oynayacağım şimdi? Guardian olarak oynamayayım ya. Çok gerizekalı herif. Evet, bu gerizekalı
Come now,
olan.
Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't pump.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser, at your Ujit's parish, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say you're...
None of...
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping mostly to... Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man, too.
I wouldn't be too sure. But... who's that French fellow you brought here from Malashov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg. And if he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be...
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And duller.
How does it feel to breathe free air?
What can I say? You can never
or until you become a...
No fear of that in my case. Wine.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wine, but I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the gang.
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rub.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old...
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Yo eksikti. Bari Hans olarak oynasaydık yani.
God bless. Schön dich zu sehen, mein Freund.
İsimleri de yok. Soylu.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin. A friend of that lad you arrived...
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. I am a warrior, a traveler.
My word. Isn't that
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet...
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron.
Listen, I've come into possession of evidence that this...
Okay.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My...
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here.
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell, and we are both a little on... I'm Yehuda, leader of the Rab, and this is Samuel.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring?
Because we all need to, and why would they?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to. The situation in the town and the kingdom is... You have men and weapons.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we...
Everything in good time, Samuel.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money...
You remind me of my young friend Henry.
Henry? That met...
You know each other. You're both around...
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very...
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead...
Wait, a black from Scarlet's?
Aye, that's right.
I knew of someone.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why I said...
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised...
And that was all for the best.
Why? You should have taken care of me.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, at least none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Kobila. Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like...
A person can't choose their parents.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink.
For that, there will be more...
Good health.
L'chaim.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole son won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
I'm not going today.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health.
And to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here?
I would have expected a bit more sense from Job. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein.
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my... From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like...
As it happens.
Excellent. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has and the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
Ama kendi yeni devasa ordumuzun askeri komutanı bekleyeceğiz.
If Sigismund decides to mount an attack on the camp, it'd be a massacre.
Ah, but it won't. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage in...
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disaster.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless death, and also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that.
I'll help you.
I'll give you 3 names. Bocek of Kunstadt, Haman Alder, and if you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
Why me, of all?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know, you and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why there aren't many like you.
What if it doesn't?
I refuse to even consider that outcome. Because it would mean slow...
Tell me a bit more about those people.
Certainly.
Bocek of Kunstadt.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he doesn't play the big game. Because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Bocek of...
That's just... He always...
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position, only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his day's in the... But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers.
Anna of Waldstein.
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not...
I was quite surprised to see her here.
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws. She knows how to do her son.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from...
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth, and that it was thanks to her that he died.
I'll get on it then. Wish me...
I wish us both luck, before the day is over.
Success to our...
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek. And he... He's a great lord.
That's hard. I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Ha! Even better. But you won't believe it until you...
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave.
I want to have a word with Alder.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up.
I came with a delegation from Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Is this a...
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky... I got him a place at the Archbishopry. Only it wasn't long before they... And then, I find out he's settled in... But he took his boozing and whoring along with him. Lost...
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you...
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you...
I wouldn't set foot here if I had a choice. Better to be a priest in some backwater than have a father like you.
How dare you?
You're as shit a father as I am a son. We've got nothing to blame each other for. And now let me speak to Alder.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough!
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I'm not happy about it. But this isn't how I imagined my first meeting.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
Stand firm. Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your arse.
Ne oldu?
My God, Father always said you were a good-for-nothing boozer. Are you...
I was in a war. Right, and you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well...
So Father would be satisfied. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner he...
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped...
Not at all. I remember him the same since when I was 6 years old. I fell off a... He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd left...
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3...
Only 3 days.
I always wondered who you were.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and booed, but now I have a chance to put...
And that's why you want to talk...
I've got to get him on our side and to cooperate with us.
Aren't we all on the same...
Maybe everyone's saying that. But it's time to put it into...
After your encounter with Father... Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it.
What else can I do?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me. And tell me what it's all about.
All right, then. You've heard... It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's not...
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to...
You're starting to...
Godwin, we didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify...
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's... I couldn't help but notice your son has...
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad.
May God grant him eternal rest. What are you expecting?
Well, I have no... But, all going well, we may be able to establish... As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very...
Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on...
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, it doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a...
Bence... Neyse.
May I have a word with you, sir?
You? Anytime. Unlike this pack of conceited upstarts.
Young Lord Capon is finally free again.
He got a harsh lesson. But at least he might remember to lay off that. But if not, war will make a man of him soon. And
do you think there's really going to be a war? I mean, a proper one.
I sincerely hope so. Whoever sits around...
What do you think of...
Are you testing me? Jobst called this assembly and he wants things to turn out...
To turn out well for whose benefit? Some are up to their elbows in silver and blood. So other...
Better make sure you're among the latter, then. And in the meanwhile, help...
Have you got something against the cook?
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in dung. But and they think that can turn their blood blue.
But surely they're not all like that.
Allies or not, someone ought to show...
Bu bir karar var ama. Neredesin ya?
What's the patricians and...
They're without. Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along. Yobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea.
Does that improvement include a few thousand...
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument, only in order to get them.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my... I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord bless me with... I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you open...
My guarantee is called Yit. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I...
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also...
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster.
What's wrong with him? He's young, he's handsome, women are fighting over him, and he'll give her a whole...
And to half the wenches in his... On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation. Maybe it's not such a bad...
So...
You're selling the skin of a boar that's still burst. I want a confirmation that the wedding will take place.
And what if Lord Capon...
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush, if he agrees, I'll be happy to support.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom.
Harbiden
Things
ya.
have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop.
Konuşalayım da önce şeye söylesem. Hans Capon'a.
Sir Hanush, I bring...
You do?
I've gained us...
And who is it? I hope it's not one of those
On the contrary, it's Bocek, the elder of Kunstadt and Podjebrad.
Kunstadt? By Christ, how the hell did you do it?
Well, I explained to him how such an alliance...
Mutually?
He's got a pretty serious personal interest.
Stop beating around the bush and spit out...
Lord Kunstadt has a niece, so... I arranged a betrothal for young Lord Capon, with your blessing if you agree.
Hans Capon is to marry Yitka? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the rate.
Bayağı
Or
sevimli.
you could make me the abbot of Sasa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's...
Cheers!
Cheers to you! And to your parlaying skills!
Oha, kabul etti. Hans kupon evleniyor. Aldık.
Take a look at that. A nightingale.
Çok sevindi şerefsiz.
So, Buchek, your niece Yivka.
So Hanush agreed.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of...
Enough formality. We'll have a...
Yeter daha.
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord King.
Here's to a good bargain.
Hadi bitti şu işkence artık.
I'll drink to that.
Yalnız.
You seem a bit out of sorts.
Oh, these grand aristocratic assembly. I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all went.
But then you'd miss all the grub and the booze.
Oh.
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free for a while longer.
That's one thing you can always count on him for.
God forbid.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him to disgrace himself in front...
Duymadım kardeş. Şimdi ne bakacağız? O nerede? İşaretli bile değil anasını. Anna nerede? Aa bak orada bir yer. Bence şu. Çok soylu bir kadın gibi. Aa onlar değil. Haritada da gözükmüyor. Soylu. Çok soylu.
Greetings to you, friend.
Arkadaşlar da hepsiyle konuştu.
Sir, I don't...
Nor I, until now. I am Sir Conrad, Lord of...
Used to be. My father somewhat...
And I used to be the Royal Mint Master, until the King decided to replace me.
We've got quite a bit in common.
More than you think. If my memory doesn't deceive... So I recollect, at least, from my recent discussions...
Served.
Even so. Before King Wenceslas appointed me his Mint Master...
And now look at us. We have cast off our robes.
There's no point in waiting for divine intervention. On the contrary...
Are you going to support the Margrave's proposal?
I haven't quite decided yet. It's true that displeasure against the king is noticeably growing in Kuttenberg, but if our rebellion were to come face to face with Sigismund's army, I'd be risking my...
It was a pleasure.
Likewise.
Bildim.
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to...
God be with you.
Your diplomatic support.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money?
Margrave Yob's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to get...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out.
hit the nail on the head again, Mom. You're well informed.
I am rarely mistaken.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine.
Then you're in the right place. This occasion provides all of those things.
The wine here is average. The cooks lack imagination. So, to the point.
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on two fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps...
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would...
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain...
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest...
I'm supposed to rob an ally.
Harman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the council. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them, so he won't even notice the difference.
Have you fallen out with the town councillor?
No. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the house, they're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband. And the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace...
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it...
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorim's groom has eyes everywhere.
Doğru lan. Yani onu... Doğru ya. Odin mi bakıyor dedi, kim bakıyor dedi anasını.
What brings you here? Good afternoon.
Aren't you a bit bored?
What's your problem? The horses are fed and watered. I'm not idle.
God forbid. But standing around here must be a pain.
Not really.
Shall we roll some dice? I'm sure you can take a little breather, eh?
Well, all right. But just for a little while. I'll wait at the table over there.
Zaman geçirebiliyor muyuz? Abi hadi ben yine değiştim de. Oh tamam, oynayacağım.
Don't be a coward.
Geldim lan, tamam.
Maybe you're not playing for the first time, but you can't beat me.
Harbi mi lan? Yenersem ne bok yiyeceğim? Orada yendim bir de.
Why did I even start playing? Here. Oh, come on! Let it be now. I want to play too, you know. Good game, friend. The money's yours.
Hadi görüşürüz. Oo, hiç fark etmedi bile, güzel.
I've got those papers from Alden for you.
Quiet! You don't have to announce it to everyone.
Lady, with all the clamour going on here, I can hardly hear my... Here they are.
You're more capable than...
You're welcome. And now your part.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and...
Thank you, noble lady.
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our...
How could I refuse a toast with such a fine lady? To your health.
And to the success of our efforts.
Artık ayakta duramıyor benimki.
I'm still hoping it works out and we walk out of here with a clear plan.
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
Is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bocek of Kunstadt will support our cause.
Both of them? Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes! Yeah. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
Yes! The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslas, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas.
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wenceslas' side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rebel get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should... your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants. Chicken shits. Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
I apologize, sire. I'll do everything in my power to...
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore placed the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, You idled in the baths and lined your pockets, and let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt.
İsim mikrofonda bir sıkıntı oldu herhalde. Şimdi bu krala hizmet edeceğiz. Hadi bakalım.
Was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had
Bayağı üçümüz kaldık.
Sire, you were harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insults for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's
İyi
not
ki burada yok.
He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries. They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father was still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass. And relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobs does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red.
Daha yeni koydum ya, hayvan.
Just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt.
Hayvan nasıl içiyor?
And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in the land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the council was meeting, Van Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosh. Alderin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Oderin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosh will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sir.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine.
No, we shall have white. We have had enough of it.
White it is. Quickly. If Rabosh falls, others will follow.
I think from Berghoff's
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
Yapacak bir şey yok ama hallederiz sonra. Boş ver. Yok. Ordu geliyor buraya. Şimdi yapamam dersem.
He's marrying the young Lord of Perkstein.
Baskin made an important Irish priestess pointed swords at the old tomb. Nearly broke the soul. Hallelujah.
That's our region. Wow, a nice rich bride.
Ne yapmam gerekiyor?
You in need of something, my well-oiled friend?
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. So, to touching. Come now.
I never had one.
Truly?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is. Give me a few more.
See now. Only there's nothing to drink.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all.
Well, get something wet.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father, surely. I had my eye on him all evening. He had left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one.
You can bet on it. I've got a...
I don't doubt it.
I still can't wait for that ginger cut. Put the fuck off.
Strong words. Otherin may be an old pinch person, but when it comes to a...
Hadi şurasıymış. Kafam yamulmuş ya. Bana böyle gelecek mi? Yok, gelmiyor.
or anywhere, even at home. This is about politics.
That may be true, but good wine on the table is a compelling argument in any debate going on around.
My enemy and adversary, may I not anger my God by any sin. The Lord Almighty grant us a peaceful life and a perfect health.
Oh, just a bit longer.
Aye, you already said that.
You do it. Oh, like.
Ne yapıyor lan böyle?
If the Queen did this, there wouldn't be no...
Oh, just a bit longer.
That may be true, but good wine.
Ayakta duramıyorum oğlum zaten.
Until then, Sigismund's men can travel.
If the Queen did this...
Oh, you do it. Oh, like a queen.
There wouldn't be
Maybe an old pinch person.
Almıyor ki
When it comes to affairs of
oradakileri.
state,
Ha. Oyunun en başındaki kule. Burası mı? Kule diyorum, kale. Burası mıydı acaba?
Not sure. Were we?
Oyunun ta en başında açılış sahnesi.
Let's drink to that. They got by without us so far. They'll be fine.
Oğlum buldum, bir sürü buldum.
I couldn't resist you either. The sausage is down there, look.
So you see, lobster.
Vacuum.
How would you like a wine?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition. Recipes are passed on from father to son. I myself was practically raised on wine. Even the French royal court, the king himself had wine delivered for his...
I expect his lordship had the best barrels rolled out. Now, if he'd only...
Best barrels! This wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would... Give me 109...
Ne oldu lan?
And I will clear my name. I will charge the enemy with cavalry, break through their lines, and capture...
Do you get it, Father?
Please, call me Rabbi, Lord Cape.
Oh, whatever. Fuck it.
And you should not curse either.
See? You talk exactly the same as our holier-than-thous.
What is bothering you, young man? You should rejoice that you are to be married.
But I didn't ask for a wife. I wanted to prove that I was worthy.
Looks for me.
Having a good time?
He's a fucking bore. He's all
Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food.
Even a few females worth the same.
I'd rather have a game of dice.
Well, let's have a game then.
For coin? What?
Let's make it
nice. If I'd known.
Bu paranı alacağım kardeş. Ölümünü görmüyorum ama.
God be with you.
G'day, g'day.
Nasıl ya? Hala mı lan? Hepsini yaptı, hala devam ediyor. Rahatsız ya. Ne yapmaya çalışıyor bu? Burada 3 tane olaydı.
God be with you.
And with you?
Hayatım önceyse ortak şey yapmayacaktınız abi. Ya, neyse. Ortak itibar yapmayacaktınız. Kazandım. Bunda kazandım.
Want to roll some dice?
Sure.
Playing for coin's a bore.
Yeah, I might have something.
And what might...
Let's keep it a surprise.
What the hell?
You bet it will.
Hayda, gene mi ya? Yanlışlıkla girdim. Bin yaptım bile 3 tane birlikten.
God be with you.
Kazandım.
You can dip that rotten carrot in lard and ram...
But if you don't like your prize...
Here you are.
You've got no imagination. It's not for eating. Like I could shove it down the back of the cousin's shut.
Ne anlatkan acaba ya?
I appreciate your friendship.
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hanush? raise an army, prepare a wedding feast and all that.
All hail Jobst. He sorted out things here nicely. He got my money for a start, and that's more than I want. But you know how it goes. I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. I'm too old and fond of my comfort.
Did you at least discuss with Hanu?
Nothing to discuss. It'll be at our castle, Potstein, of course. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here.
But there are 2 castles. I'd bet my right arm, old Hanush, will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Ratai? Well...
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's messenger any...
Abi C'yi nereden bulayım ben? Sürahi.
Good evening, my esteemed lady.
No matter. I know, although Martin hardly spoke of you, from what I heard.
It's been a
expensive forceful battle. You just be what I can.
May I interrupt you for... You already did.
What's the matter?
One of the most esteemed guests ordered more wine. Where might I... All over the place. I meant the really fine wine. The kind that...
No way! Sir Martin ordered for it to be served only to him and a few of his favorites.
Have you seen the state he's in? Tomorrow, he won't eat anyway. He'll never miss one job.
All right. Them pictures are on a table in the cellar.
Now off you go and leave us...
I beg your pardon?
What kind of name is Bruce Phallus, anyway? It's pronounced...
Nereden oğlum mahzene giriş ya? Muhafız izin verirse gideceğim.
The rat'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rudart. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of your fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
surrounding Christians. He can't make it on his own.
You'll be fucking sorry.
Kill him!
You're mine.
Not one step! Stand your ground! Get it! Drive those horses out! Don't spare it! Stand for! Come and help me with this bastard!
Never your forehead, you shit!
Coming! Brace yourselves! Help me!
Seviye atlamalarını bilerek yaptım. Artık biraz güçlenmem lazım ya. Artık bilerek yaptım. Güçlenmem lazım. XP çarpı 10 yaptım ya.
Go! Quick!
Whoa!
You're dead!
Bash him on the head! Fucking war sons!
Show
O ne lan?
I'll tear you a new arsehole, you!
Good! But he's still standing! Go to hell!
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me. Did my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Yobs long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but...
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein.
Hayda.
Didn't stand a chance against those butchers. May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother. But only almost. Good work.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. Nothing.
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally, the same as Rutard and Botchek.
Well, they all have their quirks. Cousin Botchek's a money-grabbing magpie. But I wouldn't give up on the fucker either. We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Berghout took them.
Where did they go? Back to Ratoi?
They've got to raise an army for us. And I hope they fucking hurry.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund?
More of a promise than a plan.
But, as you can see, our allies are getting scarce. We should lay low until Jobst gets back.
I'll gladly play dead for a while. Be so kind. And don't speak of the dead.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
I was standing a few steps from von Aulitz when he told Sigismund I was pouring them wine, and had to listen to how Sigismund was going to give him Raborsch. It was a horrible feeling, not being able to do anything about it.
And what could you possibly do?
Kill them. Both of them.
My fingers would itch too.
Was there any knife lying around? Or at least a fork?
Do you know what that would cause?
I'd die before I could turn around. But at least I'd die with a clear conscience.
And hundreds of innocents would die after you. Because the soldiers would start ransacking the city.
Do you like watching those foreigner dogs rampaging around and slaughtering innocents? Who else has to die before we do something about it?
Tell us about it. We were neck deep in corpses before you bothered to turn.
Well, not you.
Fuck you, Jan. I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat. Trust me.
We've lost a lot of allies. We'll have trouble finding new ones.
Well, are you surprised? Look around.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey. Oh, God's teeth.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the council, that is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe.
They're our allies. We have to help.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to...
He's here too.
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible.
Anyway, we've got work to do.
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up...
Good to see you both.
Oh, come on. You know, I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot...
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well... Well, they killed Lady Anna of Volstein, and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and... Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plan...
Get a grip. Whining...
You're right. When I drink too much... Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get...
Actually, it might. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to...
God's woo! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join.
Böyle de oynayalım, serbest alalım.
You did.
Sam, I need to have a word.
Just tell him.
What did he talk about?
We talked about your stepfather.
Why? Neither...
It's true, I did not. But I tried. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? Well, the thing is...
Wow.
I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son?
Üvey kardeşiz ya.
His son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age and...
When I was born, he was already long gone. Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me.
I can tell you about him if you want. But now, this is not the end. We have to go to cut. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved exactly.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a gazera?
That is hard nonsense. It is as clear Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless, and all that with the king.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect we need to get back into the city. And will you come with us, Henry?
I'll come. And Licton.
Very well.
Let's not waste time.
Direkt çıkalım ki uzaksın. Orada ben beklediğim bir şey.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed...
Could you stop blabbering already?
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir?
All right. But could you...
I'll explain to you on the way.
Are you coming too?
Of course.
But do you think that's a good idea? No offense, sir, but...
I'm not.
Aa.
But I'm not just going to...
All right then. Let's go.
İyi bari itibar kaybetmedim. Anasını. Yanlışlıkla ne diyecek diye bastım. Yanlış oldu. Abi yükleme ekranını yapıp geçsen şuraya ya.
Peresh, can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then use it to pray.
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to get everyone out of there fast.
Bloody hell. I just got ailed up so nicely today.
Oh, that is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't worry. We'll save your mother.
And everyone else too. Don't forget that.
You seem to care an awful lot about these people, sir.
Are you surprised? It's all my fault. If they weren't helping me...
That Reuter Sigismund, may his name be erased, would have found some other excuse to get rid of us.
Look, it's not that I don't feel sorry for you, but don't you think maybe we could make the horses go a little faster? At this pace, we won't make it there in a week.
We really should pick up the pace.
All right. Schnell! Schnell!
Ben muhabbeti uzatmak istedim sadece. Burada şimdi serbest bıraktığı an...
What's the matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right in...
But how do we get into the town?
We will go through...
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town. One of them...
Won't it collapse on our...
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing it is to have found the blessing.
Bu benim için yeterli. İzlediğiniz için teşekkürler. Bir sonraki bölümde oyuna kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz. Fena sardı. Çok uzun. 20. bölüm. Her bir saatten olsa 20'şer saat. 20 saat. Belki geri gittiğim oldu. Kayıt yanlış oldu. İşte geri gittim tekrar oynadım. Yarım saat bir saat. Çok uzun oynadım bu oyunu zaten de. Oyun hayvan gibi uzun. Bitireceğiz. 20 Mart'a kadar bitirdim. Bitirmedim. Assassin's Creed Shadow'a geçerim bugün. Neyse hoşçakalın.